So after Saturday's loss to Minnesota, Mickey Joseph said he wanted to watch the film of the game to determine why Nebraska's run game lost potency in the second half.
Got it. Here's his answer.
Okay.
Ready for that?
I guess. Go. Yeah.
Well, we got to trust and be happy with 3 and 4 yard runs. You got to be happy with them. And so we got to say, hey, we got a 3 yard run. Let's pad it back up and go back at it again. And maybe we get another 3 yard run. 9's 3rd and 4 is manageable.
Did Joseph have that conversation with Mark Whipple, the play caller?
I don't have that one.
Oh, you don't have that
one?
I
don't have any label as that.
Okay, so he was asked that, and this was the most fascinating part of the press conference. Did Joseph have that conversation with Mark Whipple, the play caller? Absolutely, Mickey said. We had that conversation. How did it go? That's between me and Whipple.
No.
That's between me and Whipple.
It just stopped there.
That's what he said. That was the most interesting part of the luncheon, in my opinion. Some people didn't think it was interesting.
Well, I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's a short and sweet answer, and it's between him and Whipple.
Yeah. He absolutely had that conversation with Whipple, he said. Okay. Just if you're getting 3, even if you're getting 2, just run it. 2's not great.
Well, again, Nebraska, if you go back to the first quarter, they ran the ball really well. Both drives. The first 2 drives.
Grant had 10 carries for 80 yards in the first 2 drives.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
And it looked, we didn't have much, didn't really go backwards at all.
No.
All forwards.
I think he was 11 for 35 the rest of the way.
Didn't give him the ball enough.
Right. Also, Mickey said, do you have sound of what he said about how to play offense in the Big Ten? Slowing your offense in the Big Ten. I'm trying.
I got this one. Yeah,
hit it.
How about that one, Mickey Joseph?
I think if you've been in this league and you understand what you're looking at as a coach, you understand that you got to slow it down because everybody else is slowing it down. Just the way this league is built, and we got to play Big Ten football, and we eventually trying to get to that. But we got to play Big Ten football, and you got to try to slow it down.
Okay, pause right there. Let's go back to rewind. Scott Frost is hired at Nebraska.
But there's something else.
Well, I'm going back to that. Scott Frost said we want the Big Ten to adjust to us.
Mm-hmm.
That did not go over very well for Nebraska.
No, and Scott actually took him 3 years, but he acknowledged that. There's something else in there that – tell me if I'm making too big a deal of this. Okay, you heard what he said. We've got to play Big Ten football. We're eventually trying to get to that. Is that Mickey thinking he might have this job?
Or he's going to be here in some capacity?
Yeah. I know he has no guarantees he's going to be here. Or I know that as of last Tuesday. So it's getting to be – there's
3 games left. It's getting down to decision time soon.
So that was last Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. That's 8 days ago. Things could have changed. I know as of last Tuesday, it wasn't, he had no idea. And I know he had received no assurances that he's going to be here. But that quote yesterday stuck in my brain. We're eventually trying to get to that. That sounds like a coach who's going to be here for a while. Hello?
I can't say that I didn't hear that. So I kind of agree with you on that. It appears like, it sounds like with that quote, he thinks he's going to be here, whether that's head coach or an assistant coach, that he's going to be here next
maybe
season.
Mickey's going to, I don't know. I know that as of Thursday, he didn't know if he was going to be the head coach. So I don't know. Maybe things change.
Or it could just be a guy that's having good coach speak in a press conference.
Yeah, it could mean nothing.
Could be that.
Could mean nothing.
Okay. Anything else that stood out to you from Mickey?
Well, I talked about the 3 things.
Yep.
Go to the quarterbacks.
Okay. Here is a couple quotes from Mickey about quarterbacks. You want the one that says balancing the human side of that competition?
What else you got?
Game reps, balancing practice with game reps.
Keep going.
That's what I got.
Casey Thompson.
I didn't cut the audio yesterday. Blame the person that cut the audio.
I'm not blaming anybody. I wrote about it. Hold on. Yeah, just play whatever one you think's good.
Fine, we'll do this. Just Mickey Joseph regarding the quarterback situation, the human side of it.
But you got to put your arms around them. It's tough on them because you're not asking kids that's been backups. Logan's probably had more success being a backup that he did it last year. Trevor did a little bit at Florida State, but you got to put your arms around them and give them some support and show that you believe in them because they had a tough situation.
Mickey on balancing practice with game reps.
Well, who's making the throws, who's getting us in the correct run plays, and they're competing right now. And we'll look at each practice and say, okay, he performed really good this day. He performed really good this day. And on Thursday, we have to make a decision. So we'll just look at their reps.
Okay, I'll try to clarify what's going on here. He said, Joseph said Casey Thompson, the 8-game starter this season, didn't practice Tuesday. And Joseph characterizes the junior quarterback status as day-to-day. Now, he did say if he doesn't practice today, Wednesday, he'll be ruled out. Okay, then it would be either Chubba Purdy or Logan Smothers, and it will depend largely on how those guys practice. Okay, which makes sense, right?
Yes.
He says, I've got to watch Mickey Joseph said, I've got to watch both of them practice and see which one's performing the best. Right now, I'm looking at both of them. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Jake.
Okay, you stop there because we have seen now a couple games of Chubba and Smothers, or a lot of Chubba and maybe not enough Smothers. If Nebraska starts this game on Saturday and Casey is not playing, if Casey is indeed out again, and Chubba is starting the game, you're going to have a lot of people in the state that are very confused and upset at the same time. Now, Logan's not by far and away a better quarterback than Chubba. He's not. He has looked like the better option to, I think, the majority of people watching the games, right? Yeah. Wouldn't you say if you watched those two play, if you were not a Nebraska fan, you turn on the game, you'd say, hey, number 8 is the better quarterback there.
I would.
Why is he not playing more?
Well,
there's going to be some concern about who's in control of this thing, right?
I guess.
I mean, you go back. You said the conversation. I mean, Mickey said he talked to Whipple. They'll keep it at that in terms of discussion, mostly about the run game, about everything. So if you and I can sit here and it's very obvious that Logan Smothers is the better option of the quarterbacks, and you see Chubba Purdy start on Saturday, in this hypothetical, which is possible, I think, again, people are going to say, who is in charge here of Nebraska?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we know that Chubba was picked by Mark Whipple.
We know Chubba was recruited by Mark Whipple.
Right.
I don't look at it quite like that. That this is a who's in charge decision. I don't. Now, you may not. That's fine.
I think, maybe not now, but if that's the case Saturday, I think, yeah, you can have that question.
Mickey said Mickey explicitly stated he'll watch them in practice and choose which one. I think Mickey's in charge. I give Mickey more credit than that. Mickey has he's the boss, and he has that sort of way about him. I disagree on this one.
Okay. Well, I
don't think it. If Purdy's the quarterback, I don't think it's because Whipple threw his weight around.
I'm just saying what my eyes tell me in a game.
I think it's because Mickey chose him. That's what I say.
That's what it should be. That's what your hope is if that's the case.
Yeah, and I don't.
But again, what have your own eyes told you when the game is going on, when the bullets are flying? Practice is one thing. Practice is important.
Wait a second. What are you saying? Are you talking about who's the better quarterback or who's making the choice?
Well, I started off who's the better quarterback.
Well, I think I think Logan looks better.
Right.
Okay.
As does the whole state, basically.
Okay, so then what are you saying?
Well, the assumption is on that if Chubba were to start, that's Whipple's choice. That's what people say.
Mickey stood up in front of the state yesterday and said he's making a quarterback decision. I don't know what else to tell you. All right.
Well,
we do this in media. We fabricate and we fictionalize things, even though the principal is standing up in front of the state saying he's going to choose the quarterback. You're in your mind say, well, I don't know. I mean, he can say that, but I think Whipple is actually doing it. And what can I say? I mean, because how do I prove you wrong? I mean,
you can't.
No. So go ahead. create a nice little fictional account because that's what media does. They create fictional
It's
accounts.
not fictional. It's just my own thoughts.
It's fiction. You have no basis for that.
My basis
Due
is that
respect.
my basis is that my eyes can tell me what quarterback looks better on the field and gives Nebraska a better chance of competing.
I have no doubt who's in charge. Now, I get it. I do understand this. You could say that what Purdy was starting because of Whipple's influence before, but I think that conversation's over now. I mean, I think this is now Mickey's decision.
Well then let's fast forward to Saturday then. If Chubba is starting, if Casey's out, and Chubba is the guy, if number 6 is in there starting
because Mickey decided that's the best.
But what is your mindset going to be about that? As you covered Nebraska.
Okay, hold on. Mickey did shed some light on this. We're getting calls. Good. Hey, Jake, he said that Logan's not a good practice player and that this week, I'll read you the quote. I think Logan is more of a gamer, but he's got to practice better, Joseph said. He understands that. Logan is really going to attack this week trying to be a better practice player. That's his goal. Shed some light on it.
Again, yeah, I've heard stories in the NFL about guys who have. I brought up all the time. And
fictional stories, probably.
No, I brought this guy up before because I'm a big fan of this team, but I go back to a couple years ago. Matt Moore is a guy that was a career backup, but he was a gamer when he had a chance to play. And people said the reason why he never made as a starter is because he was a horrible practicer.
Right.
But he was a gamer.
Practicer.
He was not good in practice.
Oh, this is going to be trouble. Practicer.